Hi everybody, welcome to this new video. I am Caffeine Lily and today I want to start a new series of videos because I have joined in this tournament the season 10 of the VML, which is a community for marginalized gender, and they do an amazing series of tournaments, standard best of 3, and this one is the season 10. I've started, this one is the first week. I've already played, but I've recorded my game and now I want to rewatch with you, and I think the next one I will record myself while playing, so like a proper gameplay. This one is a tournament in which 128 players, we are divided in 17 division. I'm in the first one. Every week we play one round. We have 7 rounds to play and then the top 8. And I know there are also some amazing prizes. I don't think that I will be in any of these positions, but because I'm not a strong player, I'm not a pro player, I just want to improve myself. But as you can see, this one is their official site. If you're going and just type vmlmtg.com, you can find everything you need to know. And the pool price is very good because the entry fee is pretty cheap. You just need to pay $15, like, or something like that, 15 or 16. I don't know if 16 is the entry fee or 15 plus 1 for taxes, but it's very cheap, very low. And the top 32 will get $70. Then the top 16 will get also an invitation to MTG Arena qualifier and $140. And then everything goes up, and the top 8 will get also an invitation to the regional championship and to the VML championship. It's pretty good, I have to say. This is my first big tournament of this kind, really competitive tournament. So I think I'm going straight ahead for 0-7, but I need to improve. I need to try to play decks, to play competitive. So I think this one is very good for beginnings. Let's have a quick view to our decks. This one is mine decks. I want to play Celestial Enchantment because I think it's pretty funny. It's not very common, not very played in this meta, not in best of 3. And this meta right now is full of Rakdos. And especially after sideboard with the Surge of Salvation, this deck is not in a bad spot. What I need is to start very strong because I need to deal in the early phases of the games and keep to threat and have big creatures, have a lot of synergy, and I just need to do my game and keep up with and let my opponent deal with that. On the other side, my opponent, Gnome, played a Rakdos midrange. This one is, I think, the strongest deck in the meta right now. It's a very solid deck, a very strong deck. I cannot play this one because I don't have the wild cards, but I think it's very funny, and it could make my life difficult because there are a lot of removal. He has a lot of removal, and I am pretty scared of Invoke Despair because I have a lot of enchantments, so probably this one could be... It depends if you can see a lot of removals in an early phase of games or not. So let's go to the game. I've recorded this one because we have already played a few days ago, but I want to rewatch this also because I want to share with you my experience, and I really need to improve myself, so I think this is a good way to deal with. My first hand, I'm pretty happy with the first hand because I have a green mana, I have common with spirits, so I can both search for a land or for an enchantment. And I decided to take Ossification also because I have dropped 2 Teaching of the Kirin, but I drew Generous Visitor, so It's pretty good. Mill 3, 2 lands and 1 Calyx. Calyx is one of the new cards from Aftermath. I think it's very strong. I really trying to play Selesnya because I think it's a very, very funny way. +1/+1. The Blood Tide Harvested, it could be a problem for me because it could deal with kind of everything in my deck, because everything is like 1/1 or 2/2 when they come down on the board. So here I'm trying to trade, and the trade for me is good. And now I will go for the Restoration of a Ganjo so I can search for a plane. More mana is always good, but I only have 1 forest, and this is difficult for me because I cannot play double spell with that. And the Graveyard Trespasser deal with my Calyx, but I don't have anything in my decks that can put back things from the graveyard, so it's not a big deal for me. And now I can play the Generous Visitor with the second stack of the Saga, because now I can play the second green spells. If I play the Ossification, I need to discard 1 card, but I think the Graveyard Trespasser could be really difficult for me to deal with, so probably is the right move. I'm not sure about this discard of the Restoration. Probably the Teaching of Kirin was better to discard, because then with the second trigger of the Restoration of a Ganjo, I could have claimed back something from the graveyard with mana 2 or less. Yeah, and now I could have done that because I could have discarded the planes and have a free card from the graveyard, but... And here you can see that I forgot I had just 1 green mana, so I don't want to trade my Generous Visitor for this Hair Goblin, but I need a way to deal with the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, because otherwise this deck will go too strong on me. I can block with the Architect of the Restoration and create 1 Spirit token. The problem here is that I have only 1 forest, and now we are pretty advanced in game. And if he has 1 Invoke the Spare and he can copy it with Chandra, it's really bad for me. It's really, really bad. I can try with the Calyx because I don't think the Teaching of Kirin right now it's a good choice. Also because if I mill other screen lands, I'm not happy about that. So probably I won't. And I already know that the Invoke the Spare, of course, doubled by the Chandra. It's a terrible, terrible card to deal with for me. Because now I have to sacrifice 2 creature, 2 enchantment, 2 planeswalker. I don't have any planeswalker, so a lot of damages. For that I had only 1 enchantment and 2 creatures. And right now I think my game is done, but in this kind of tournament I do not want to go straight to games 2, because I just want to play, and I think it's very, very fast and very easy to go, so it's not a big deal, even because it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I saw one thing.
You'll never guess what I do next.
Now it's better. And of course, now he's going on with everything. It's keep getting life. And make damages. I know I'm dead on board like since one turn ago, so it's not a big deal. I'm just okay. I just wanted to see what were on the draw, and now I can concede. I don't want to concede when I am too high because it's like one turn, it's not so long, it's not so difficult. And now for my sideboard, this is where I am weak. This is my weak point. I am sure about Surge of Salvation. I have many difficulties to decide what to take off and not to take in. I've decided not to take Invasion of Gobakan in, but probably this would be difficult, an error, because I think that could be very useful, especially against Rakdos. But I have issues to decide what I side off of my deck, because I know I really want to deal with their enchantment, so I think I put the Lauren inside. I'm not sure about Matilda, so I put them out, and I'm pretty sure about Surge of Salvation, because in this kind of matchup, Surge of Salvation is an amazing card, but you need to see them. And of course, I've decided to this one probably, yeah, I've decided to mull to 5 because I had no creatures in first hand and no creatures in second hand, and this was painful. This was really painful. I had just 1 mana, 1 creature and 2 enchantment. So now I have a second creature, but I decide for the Odzolith, because then if I can start to build up my Generous Visitor, I can start to do something. Again, I have 1 mana, 1 green mana, and a bunch of green cards that I can play, but I cannot play because I have only 1 green mana. Story of my life. And now a cut down on the first Generous. Second mana, white mana. I decided for the second Generous and not for Calyx, cause right now I can try to build up my Generous, and I am sure he has another removal. I'm not sure, I wasn't sure about the cut down or the going for the throat, but still a removal. And now I have 2 Calyx in hand, so I can go straight and try for the first one. That is a 4/4 because of the Odzolite. And Obliterating Bolt. So right now we have 2 cut down, 1 Obliterating Bolt. Michiko is coming down on the board, and Calyx will try to deal something, and is trying to become a 4/4. And another cut down. But I have the third in hand. I can try to do something. Reckoner Bank Buster, so we can start to draw cards. And of course, my opponent does that. Duress is not a big pain for me right now, because it cannot make me discard Calyx. So I can try to put Calyx on board. Right now, he's tapped out for mana, so I can do 3 damages. And another removal. I remember myself laughing at this point, because I still had 1 green mana, just 3 lands. I was like, okay, this is not my day. And of course, my opponent, Gnome, she's so good, she's played so well. She deserved this win. Invoke Despair. The first Invoke Despair of this game. So I've decided to sacrifice the token, sacrifice the Kirin, try to make my Michiko survive, try to make as many damages as I can. So I will put a +1/+1 with the Odzolith and deal for 4 damages. All I can do right now is just, I'm trying to do the race, I'm trying to do my best, because otherwise I don't know what I can do. He's already done a lot of removal. One Invoke Despair, the second Invoke Despair. And just one Jokaina to release, and I cannot do anything right now because I have just one green mana again for the second time in a row. And the third Invoke Despair in a row. This is amazing. It's always like that. Invoke Despair, and with that you draw Invoke Despair, and the second you draw the third. Gosh, I hate this card. And this game was lost at the second Invoke Despair, but as I said before, I don't want to concede too fast. Not because it's not lost, but because I just want to play. It's easy, it's fast, and as you can see, it's not a big deal. It's just one draw and then I'm dead. Because he can cure the Reckoner and attack for 7 damages. And this one was my first game. This one was the first one for the VML experience. I have to say it was pretty funny because it's my first competitive game, first time against Rakdos, with this deck, not against Rakdos but against Rakdos on a big tournament. I usually play Pauper or Draft. I don't play Standard in competitive rel, so it was funny for me. I think I could play better, but I think also that my deck is kind of fun enough. I don't think it's very strong, but I think I will keep with this deck for the second week. Because in this tournament you can change your decks every week, and you can decide every week if you want to keep up to play this deck or to change something in your deck list, or take a completely different deck list. Like, I don't know, I really don't know what I want to play for week 3 and week 4, but for the second week, the next week, I'm pretty sure I just will try to balance a little bit this one, because it's very funny. I just need to have a strong start, and in these 2 games I had just 1 green mana till the end. It was so difficult for me because I cannot make a lot of stuff on the board, and my opponent has a lot of removals, like a lot of removals, and the third Invoke Despair in a row was very painful for me to deal with and to watch. But again, it was so funny. My opponent was simply perfect. I have nothing to say about it because it was very, very funny for me to deal with and to try to do something. I don't know what I can do more than this in this kind of games, but let's see what happens in the next week. For today, I think this one is everything. I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one with me, and see you next week. Bye.